Hey guys, my name is Laura, and as many of you guys know, I'm an immigrant. I'm originally from Venezuela, and I'm gonna tell you how I got to the United States. Okay, this is TMI for everyone. Well, not really, well, kind of. So my parents divorced when I was 1 year old, and so my mom went to live with my grandparents. In my grandparents' house lived my grandma, my grandpa, my aunt, my cousin, my other aunt, and an uncle, and then me and my mom. So it was about 8 of us living in a 3-bedroom house in Venezuela. And that's kind of how I was growing. My dad wasn't really paying my mom child support. And so my mom started getting tired of that. She's like, I don't want to raise my daughter living in a room with 3 other people. I want her to have her own room. And so my mom got on the phone with my aunt that lived in Miami, and she's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't live in Venezuela. Laura's growing so fast and I want her to have her own room. And my aunt Diana was like, why don't you just come over to the US, see if you like it, and if you like it, you can stay here with us. So my mom went up to my dad and she was like, hey, I want to go to Miami. I want to visit my sister and I want to take Laura to Disney World. Can you sign this paper that it's okay with you that I take her out of the country? And he was like, oh yeah, take her to Disney World. Here you go, bye. So she started like working for a year to get a lot of money. And then one day she made me record a tape for my dad saying how much I loved him. And I remember this. And I'd be like, okay, Dad, I'm going to the US. I'm gonna see you later. Bye. My mom didn't tell my dad that me and her went to live in the US. So she technically kidnapped me. So in Venezuela, when my dad calls my grandparents, he's like, hey, I'm gonna pick up Laura. My grandpa's like, she doesn't live here anymore. And my dad was like, what is that supposed to mean? And my grandpa was like, she moved with her mom to the US. And my dad hung up the phone. He went to my grandparents' house in Venezuela and he started banging on the doors. He was like, where's my daughter? Where's my daughter? And my grandpa's like, you never took care of her. Oh, you're screaming and crying now, but when she was here, you didn't care? That's not how it works. So back in the US, my mom put me in a new school. Thankfully, there were other immigrant children with me. I had a friend, her name was Maria. She was my first friend. She was from Ecuador. At first, it was a little bit hard for me to learn the language. You guys remember I spoke the Wachi Wachi, but eventually I learned English and I forced myself. I was like, I don't want to have an accent. I want to learn English like the Americans do. And I did, thanks to Reading Rainbow. Thank you, Reading Rainbow. Now I know I'm making my dad look pretty shitty, but I mean, I'm kind of glad things happened the way they did. And my dad is still very much involved in my life and I love him very, very much. He gave me a car when I graduated college, so he definitely made up for it. Thank God my mom brought me to the US because so many amazing things have happened to me here. I became an actress, I'm a producer. I always say everything happens for a reason. If I would be in Venezuela right now, I'd probably be a completely different person. I'd be in the middle of the crisis that's going on over there. What is your immigrant story? Are you an immigrant? How did you come here? Did you get kidnapped by your mom like I did, kind of? My mom was ratchet. Can't believe she did that, but thank God she did. Let me know your stories. And make sure to subscribe. The more you subscribe, the more story. I don't like telling you guys to subscribe. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you don't, that's fine too. But if you want to keep listening to my stories, you might as well subscribe. Okay, guys. I'll see you later.